a lot of people are also getting too hung up on just anxiety, right? Or not having a clear picture in their head of what the problem is, right? Okay. So as I'm going through with each of the clients, I'm like, what do you want some help with? What do you want some help with? What do you want some help with? And I was consistently hearing with people, oh, I want to work on my dog's anxiety. It's like, okay, we could do that. But what does that mean?
Yeah, that's like such a blanket statement.
Saying I want to work on my dog's anxiety, or another one is I want to work on my dog's confidence, right? Or things like that. I think people are using those words so loosely where they don't have a picture in their head of what is actually wrong.
Yeah, it's such a broad statement.
Yes, right? Like one of them, I think, said, yeah, I want to work on my dog's anxiety. So I start digging in. Where is the anxiety at its worst? What does the dog do when it gets anxious? Mm-hmm. What's your level of control you have over the dog? Yeah. Stuff like that, right? And turns out that this dog gets anxious, but when it gets anxious, it starts getting a little bit of like stranger danger issues, right? And getting a little reactive when like people are walking by or like trying to engage with the dog or things like that. So, okay, cool. That's a more clear goal that we could get to the bottom of and figure out what we need to do, right?
Yeah.
Or the forever game of wanting to build confidence. There's a woman up there that had a pot cake that she did training with as well. And she was training with Canine Academy, and they did an incredible job with this dog. This dog, from what they were telling me, was a mess when they first met it. Anxious, reactive, like biting, like just like not a very good, well-behaved dog. And she's like, yeah, I want to work on this dog's confidence. So I was like, all right, take the dog out. All right. Takes the dog out. I'm like, all right, work the dog a little bit. And I'm looking, I was like, this dog looks fantastic. I was like, I literally don't even see a problem here. I was like, where's the issue? She's like, oh, well, just like with new people, the dog, isn't confident around new people. I was like, I'm a new person.
Yeah.
She's like, well, yeah, you haven't tried to interact with the dog or anything yet. I was like, that's because I know that to build this dog's confidence around new people, this dog needs to continue to have experiences being around people and being reassured that they're not a threat. Right?
Yeah.
So kind of meeting the dog halfway, and seeing like where the dog is at, I think, and what that dog needs to be successful is also a big overlooked key, accepting who the dog is a little bit. Like, okay, the dog clearly is telling you that it doesn't like when people interact with them. I was like, what does the dog do? Like, does he bite or anything? She's like, no, he just kind of gets a little weird and a little shy and like tries to get away. I was like, he's not doing anything wrong. No. There's nothing to work on aside from build successful repetitions around people.
Yep.
In a way that's going to help actually boost his confidence by making sure that there's no scary things actually happening to them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's not like a detrimental thing. It doesn't have to be just your way. Like you said, you can meet the dog halfway with that because it's not a detrimental problem.
Yeah, it's just like so much of this stuff, it's like less is more, or another person's dog, they said, we have anxiety issues, right? And the, it was like, what's the anxiety issue? Well, the dog kind of follows me around and paces, and they were getting into a habit of every time the dog would do that, they would try to like shoo the dog away, right? Or tell the dog to stop or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And all they were doing was feeding into it. They were creating a game out of all of it and perpetuating the anxiety, So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's I could ramble all day about it, obviously, but like there was just a lot of little things like that is of just not accepting their dogs, not having clear enough, expectations as far as what it was that's actually the issue with things, not enough decision making, that they were allowing the dog to make, and being a little too micromanagey over stuff. It really just being up there kind of opened my eyes to like those are big issues in the dog world.